Hello YouTube and welcome to CryptoCurrent. I am CryptoRick. So I've been getting a lot of messages on people wanting assistance on how to use the testnet website in preparation for the mainnet launch. So we can see here that there's the exchange, which is at the front page, and essentially it exchanges one token to another. So in this example we have PulseX, and the other icon we have Pulse Chain. So we can see that if we put one PulseX, we get about half Pulse Chain, and we can see that he demonstrated one Pulse Chain equals about 2 PulseX. We can see here the slippage, which is the percentage, and we can see here the minimum received. So you'll receive 0.51 Pulse, which is less than what's advertised here because that factors in the transaction fee. So remember, every time a transaction fee is done, you have to give 0.22% to liquidity providers. So essentially, it's just a transaction fee. So you'll see how much PulseX you've lost doing that transaction. So it's 0.005791. So this is the equivalent fee, and it just shows you a route. So they've taken your PulseX, they've then converted it to USDC, and they've then given you Pulse Chain. At the top, you can see a cogwheel that just tells you the transaction speeds, the slippage to adjust, and transaction deadline minutes, which is quite advanced settings. Here we've got the clock-like, which just shows you recent transactions if you want to see what you've recently done. And these bar graph shows you the trends of the pair. So you've got 24 hours, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year. So you can monitor to see how that goes. And if you want to close it, you just click on this button with the line going through the graph. And we can see the different forms. So there's stable coins, hex, you can use various things. This incentive token we'll talk about more, but it's not the staking token. They're two different things. So a lot of people are under the impression that you stake and then you get an incentive token. That incentive token is called PRT or party. Essentially, it's just a we'll talk about it later, but this is actually the token you get from essentially providing farming and so on. So that will be important to remember, but not for now. So next we move on to liquidity. So if you wanted to add liquidity, you just click this button. You choose which pair you want. So in this case, let's say you've got a ton load of PulseX that you want to earn money on, and you then choose the USDC. Okay, and you just, let's say you just put one PulseX. It shows you how much USDC is involved in that pair. So my understanding of liquidity is that you put in an amount of PulseX, that then takes a portion of that PulseX and converts it to USDC, and so you always have a amount of USDC in the pool. And then what you get is once you put that in, you get a share. You get like a reward from it. So in this example, your share of the pool is 0.01%. So that one PLSX token that I put in, the equivalent is that's my contribution is 0.01%. So if I want to do that, I go connect wallet, and then a MetaMask window will appear, and you just click approve, and then you get a certificate saying that you've successfully added liquidity, and that's what's called PLP. It's just the Pulse liquidity essentially provider token. So that PLP will be useful later on. So just remember that the PLP is just a reward for adding liquidity. So this is the important point here. By adding liquidity, you'll earn 0.22% of all trades on this pair, proportional to your share of the pool. So remember how before in the exchange we said that you have to pay a liquidity provider fee. So that essentially goes to the people that provide liquidity. So we'll talk about the advantages and disadvantages of using this, but that's how you add liquidity. So then the next thing is the pools, and the pools are just staking. So it says here stake PLSX and earn other tokens. So PRT is just the it's called the party token. Just think of it as a random token which says, yep, you've staked, and it's got a dollar value, and you can use that later on to earn money. It was previously, I think, referred to as XPLX, or an incentivization token, but essentially this is what it is. Different nomenclature, but same concept. This is just a token you get, and this shows how much total is staked. This shows you when it ends, so it ends in 15 days. And once it's ended, you can see in the finished pool that these pools are no longer distributing your rewards. Please unstake your token. So there's active and finished pools, and this is the rate. If you actually click it, you can see that there's a max stake per user. So in this case, it's 10 million PulseX. So this is the maximum amount you can stake. And so if you want to stake, you just click this, and then a MetaMask once again will come up, you approve, and then you start earning this PRT. And then once you want to return it back to your MetaMask, or once you want to harvest it or claim it back, you then click harvest, and then it goes back to your MetaMask. And so now let's go to the farms. So the farms are kind of, remember how we were talking about you getting PLP token by providing liquidity? So remember this one here where we said that you get liquidity and then you get a PLP. So then you take that, what do you do with it? You take it to the farm and you essentially connect wallet. It will come up saying, do you want to stake your PLP? You say yes, you approve, and then you get this incentive token. So this is different to the PRP. This is the incentive token that you got from providing liquidity. And once again, you get that incentive token, and then when you're finished with it, you just click harvest. And then once you're happy, what do you do with that PLP? You go back to the exchange. You can find the incentive token, and you can either get more PulseX, or you can just get more money and connect wallet, and same thing, MetaMask, approve, and you get money for that incentive token. Alternatively, you can go back to the liquidity pools, add liquidity, and add the incentive token. If there's a pair that eventually will come, if there is an incentive token pair, you can then do that and essentially use your ink there. So there's it's kind of like a self-fulfilling, everything is self-feeding, you could just keep generating more things using those things. So essentially, to summarize, because it's quite a complicated thing, is you've got your PLX, your PulseX, you then put liquidity, you get PLP, alright, you then take that PLP, you go to the farm, and then you get the incentive token, and then the incentive token you just go back and rinse and repeat. So put it on the exchange or liquidity or farming. And then in regards to the staking, you stake your PulseX, you earn this party coin, and once again you rinse and repeat. So you can either get that PRT, go back to the exchange. You have to add the PRT separate, and I'll probably do another video on this, but essentially you add this to your list, so it'll be PRT, and then you can get a dollar value for it. And I also wanted to quickly go through other features that probably other people don't talk about. Is if you click those three dots, you can go to the info, And it actually shows you the top tokens and how much it's gone up and the percentages and the price. So here you can see the party token and it's got a dollar value. You've got the incentive token and it's got a value. And there's all these other interesting coins. So if you go to tokens, you can see, for instance, there's Matic, but it's not the regular Matic, it's a different price Matic. There's Crow, which is obviously not the regular Crow, because the regular Crow is only about 50 cents to $1, but here it's $20. I know these are fake numbers, but what I'm saying is they're going to have all these prices of coins on the Pulse chain system, and here you've got the pools that will be available. So every kind of pairing they're going to have. So that's interesting. So the other thing that that I thought was quite interesting is if you go to the staking pool, and there's this little square button. If you click it, it actually has an approximate calculator, and so if you want to see, for instance, let's change that to PulseX. If you put, let's say, 10 PulseX, and you did it for 1 day, you'll get nothing. 7 days, nothing. 30 days, nothing. 1 year, you'll get 2 cents. It shows you how much PRT you'll get and approximately the yield. And if you have your MetaMask connected, you can click on My Balance and it can show you essentially your balance. So let's try 10 million, because I know a lot of you guys are whales out there. So if you put 10 million PulseX, you staked it for 1 day, you'll get the approximate of 8 PRT, which is $39.12. If you staked it for 7 days, you get this much, 30 days, 1 year, 5 years. If you put the equivalent of $1,000 USD, which amounts to 519,000 PulseX, for a day, you get around about $2 per day. So this is a nice thing that it's an ROI calculator that a lot of people might not know as a feature. So make sure to look into that. And there's different views. So this one shows you, I mean, there's going to be other pools, but this one shows you it in linear form. This one shows you kind of it in block form. And I thought that was a nice touch to the website. So thank you very much all for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, let us know in the comments below. And at the end of the day, you know, we're all learning together, and the main thing is that we catch everything out before mainnet so that we're all on the same page. So thank you and have a good day.